Welcome to One Insight. My name is Litvin. I grew up in London and I now live in LA. And this is a podcast for extraordinary top performers. You see, I've coached some of the most successful and talented people on the planet. I see what most people cannot see, and I dare to say what most people wouldn't dare to say. And what I know about success is that on the other side of it, it can actually be lonely. You can feel like more of an imposter the more successful you become. And when you're the most interesting person in the room, you're actually in the wrong room. I coach around insight. Life looks one way, something happens, the world looks different, and your entire world changes. It can happen in an instant. And this podcast is called One Insight because a single insight can change everything. Hi, this is an interesting episode of our podcast. What is the date? It's March the 17th today, and yesterday on March the 16th, I ran a Zoom session for my entire community. We had 500 people on live, over 1,000 people signed up to be on it. The reason I wanted to say the date is things are really moving fast in the world right now, and it's a time of a lot of uncertainty. And for years, I've talked about the power of being on an exponential growth curve in business, and it's really powerful. But when a virus is on an exponential growth curve, it can be really edgy. What it means to be on an exponential growth curve is that you look back every 3 days and say, I can't believe that was only 3 days ago. And so what I wanted to do was a call for my community to help them get back into leadership, to help calm their systems so they can go out in the world and do the work they do and calm their people so that we can really make a ripple effect in the world. For 90 minutes, I'm teaching some of the most powerful concepts I know to get back into being present in this moment so you can really serve powerfully. I'm calling this episode Serve, 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 because the heart of everything I teach for the next 90 minutes is the word serve. It's the heart of the book, The Prosperous Coach. It's the heart of everything I've taught for over a decade. Be in service. And right now, serve, serve, serve. Number one, serve yourself. Take care of you, because if you don't take care of yourself in any profession where you're there supporting others, you're going to be drained. Take care of yourself first, number one. Number two, go the extra mile in serving your clients. Really support people in ways that astonish them right now. And serve people who are not even your clients. And then number three, serve 2 layers deep. What are the problems that your clients' clients have right now? What are the challenges that your customers' customers have? Serve, serve, serve. So I'll let you jump in, be a fly on the wall where for 90 minutes I'm teaching. It's on a live Zoom call, so sometimes you hear me not interacting with people verbally, but they're filling in the Zoom chat and I'm interacting with them there. And really, all I can do at this moment in time is send you love, send you light, wish that you stay safe, wash your hands a lot, keep away from as many people as you can so we can cut down any spread of this virus, and the knowledge that we will come through this. We've all been through challenging times before. There will be a moment when we look back at this. And so, no more to say. Dive in, make notes, take away your insights and go and apply them. Much love. Okay, great. Hey, Eddie, I see you there. I've got 5 screens of your photos here. So unless you happen to pop on my first screen, it's a bit hard to see everyone who's here right now. And I've just seen messages popping through to my team on the Slack thread we use to manage the business to say that we filled out the number of spots available on this medium on Zoom. So you guys are on. I'm glad you're here. I don't think anyone else can get on right now. We might have to repeat this call another time. Can you keep yourself muted, please? Sometimes for some reason they seem to come off mute, but I'm going to be with you. I'm going to talk quite a bit today. And I want to interact a little bit as well, but then I'll ask you to unmute. Feel free to eat, make yourself at home, drink water, do what you need to do to take care of yourself while we're doing this today. Oh, Nobby, I see you, man. Hello. Hey, great to see you. All right, gang, let's begin. My team are working on the back, are just messaging me. They're working on things in the background. Maybe we'll be able to let other people join us. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, I'm just here for you. So I recommend, if you need a break, don't leave the call thinking you can come back in. You might not be able to. All right. I said to my sons just now, we're homeschooling, of course, because the schools are closed in California. I said to my oldest just now, I said, I got to go, sweetie. I got to do a call with my community. He said, how long is it for, Dad? I said, well, it's 90 minutes. He said, 90 minutes? That's an hour. Not quite. A little bit longer, actually. So, interesting times we're living in, right? You know, the practice that I come back to that is easy for me to remember when I'm there for other people, and is so hard for me to remember when it's just me on my own, is that everything starts with a breath. The moment you take a few deeper breaths than you were taking a moment before, your system is literally designed to relax. It works both ways round. When you relax, you just start breathing deeper naturally. But you can switch it. You can have your body breathe deeply. And when you do, your system will relax. So let's do this right now. Let's do nothing more than taking a deep breath in. Allow your eyes to close if you like. For the next 90 minutes or however long you can be with us for, and it's all recorded if you have to drop off. I've got you. You can just breathe and you can relax. So take a deep breath in. Feel your belly. Feel your chest. Right up to the backs of your shoulders. And then breathe out with a sigh. There's nothing else you need to do right now. If you can hear little squeaky noises in the background, that's my kids playing. So it's just a reminder that life goes on, right? Take another deep breath in. Feel your belly. Feel your chest, right up to the backs of your shoulders. Part of me wants to go and tell the kids, hey, guys, be quiet. And part of me wants to just let them play, because that's what we need to do in this moment. Remember to have a laugh and have some fun. And take one more deep breath in. Feel your belly, feel your chest, right up to the backs of your shoulders. Nothing you need to do right now other than breathe. Breathe out with a sigh. And just know you're here. There's nowhere else you need to be right now. If you've got family members who want to come in and watch, that's cool, no problem. And now we get to play. So we have a chat box on the side. Okay, I've got to keep muting you guys. Can you guys please pay attention to that you don't unmute yourself by accident? Or maybe the team are letting new people join us. That might be what it is. I will keep an eye on the chat box, but there's a lot of you on today, so might better follow. Okay, this is interesting. Technology. Tahira, I think it is, you're sharing your screen, and that needs to stop, otherwise I have to let you go from the call. Can you unshare your screen? And by the way, this is, I'm for you guys, I'm practicing everything I teach right now. I see you smiling, Eddie. I have to breathe deeply. Like this is a moment like life when you never know what's going to happen. Thank you for unsharing the screen. Okay, great. And thanks for the messages some of you are sending me privately as well. I'm going to begin by reading you a story. It's a story I've read many, many times myself, but it's a great reminder for me. Even if you've heard me tell it before, see if you can listen with different ears this time. I encourage you to listen. How to listen today is not to listen for information. There may be some ideas I'll share with you at some point that could be valuable information. But I'm a coach. I'm not a teacher, even though I teach. which means that anytime I'm teaching, anytime I'm reading, anytime I'm sharing something, I'm sharing it from a place of insight. And insight is like this. Life seems one way. This is the only possibility for life. And then you hear an idea, you hear a possibility, something new arrives in your world, and suddenly what looked like this, you change by 1 degree, and everything seems different. So listen for insight rather than for information. If you've heard any of this before, see if you can see or hear or even feel what you may have missed the first time you heard it. Many of you know one of my favorite writers is a British advertising guy called Dave Trott. And Dave tells a story about a young guy who was a teenager in Thailand a few years ago. His name was Atipat Kulapongvanich. I'm reading this as I'm sharing with you. His nickname was Tob, T-O-B. And Tob had started a small business selling dried seaweed. Everyone loved it, but he needed distribution to get to trial. How on earth would he get that? But he happened to see a TV show where an American businessman was talking about his success. And he said the secret was a strategy called guerrilla marketing. And a light bulb went off in Tob's head. He pictured this big guerrilla marketing. In this town where he lived were lots of 7-Eleven shops. Some streets even had 2 on the same street. If only he could get distribution through 300 branches of 7-Eleven, he would be like a big gorilla, distributing his seaweed to everyone. He managed to see the 7-Eleven buyer. He persuaded her to try his seaweed. She said they'd take it on one condition. They needed 400 boxes to distribute to the 3,000 branches. This was a shock for Tob. 3,000 branches? He thought they only had 300 branches. The most boxes he could produce in a month was 280. But he knew he must behave like a big gorilla to do guerrilla marketing, right? So he said he'd do it. The effort nearly killed him, but him and his staff made it just in time. And then he visited as many of the stores as he could. His seaweed depended on trial, but it was just stacked up on the shelves. It wasn't getting anyone to try it. So Tob decided that in food, the cheapest form of advertising is a free trial. And he began giving away free samples, but only to women. He realized if he gave it to men, they'd just eat it. But if he gave it to women, they'd share it and they'd talk about it. Reaching the most people possible, he believed was thinking like a big gorilla. And Tob's guerrilla marketing worked. In 3 months, 7-Eleven sales went from 600,000 baht to 2 million baht. Tob moved to a bigger factory, like a massive silverback gorilla would. And sales grew from 10 million baht to 250 million baht. And Tob began to export to over 30 countries. That included the UK, the USA, China, Mexico, Holland, Vietnam, Korea. Sales are now 2 billion baht a year. Well, 6 years ago, he wrote this. And Tob has 2,000 employees, all thanks to a lecture he heard about how to do guerrilla marketing, like the big ape in the jungle. Except, one small point that many of you may know, he'd heard the lecture wrong. It's not guerrilla marketing like a gorilla in the jungle. It's guerrilla, G-U-E-R-I-L-L-A. They sound the same, but they mean completely different things. Guerrilla comes from the Spanish word guerra, meaning war, and guerrilla means a little war. Guerrilla tactics are about doing the things the big guys can't. Guerrilla marketing is about speed and agility and surprise and innovation, not behaving like a big gorilla. But Tob didn't know that. He believed guerrilla marketing was the secret. He believed it and it worked. It worked because it gave him energy and belief and passion. You see, it's not important. It's not important to learn the correct things or even do the correct things. It's not important to memorize what's in all the business books. It's not even important to be right. It's important to be excited, to be inspired, and to know that energy beats talent. And that's the context of our conversation today. energy beats talent. So I'm thrilled now. I can see that we've got 16 pages of screens on my screen in front of me, which means my team must have done something in the background. Hopefully they've let all the people in who wanted to be on the call, which means that, of course, I will not be able to see all of you right now. I'm going to do my best to mute all of you as you come in, but somehow some people seem to bypass that. Don't know how, but we'll work on that one. Thank you, DTK. Oh, great, Evelyn. Thank you for letting me know. All right, so let's play. The story I just read, if you missed it, was an insight into the idea that energy beats talent. And in this moment, as I keep reminding myself, literally in real time, to breathe a little bit deeper than I was breathing the moment before, the secret behind everything we're doing right now, in a moment where there's a lot of fear in the world and a lot of uncertainty, is that you can bring back certainty by taking control of the little things in your life. And I mean really little things. If the only thing you did for the next week, the moment you woke up in the morning, before you reached for the phone, to check the websites, the news, the text messages, if the only thing you did in the next week was each morning to take 5 long, slow, deep breaths before you took any action, your world would change. The smallest step, if you just took that one step alone. I was rushing just now. Monique went out to buy some stuff. I'm at home with the kids, wanted to get ready for the call, so I'm rushing to make a smoothie for their breakfast, and I spilled the bag of spinach on the floor. And my little one, who's 6 years old, looked at me and said, "Slow down to speed up, Dad." It's my mantra, and they've heard it so many times. And I need to hear it for myself. We can't do this alone, which is why we need community, which is why we need support. So slow down to speed up is part of the premise of what we'll be doing today. Let me do this. Let me close that window and take you through some of the ideas I want to talk about today. And then I'll create space for some connection and some conversation. Great. Oh, Destin, I'm glad you're here. Lovely to see you. Okay, I'm keeping a little bit of an eye on the chat. Let me do this right now. Let me ask all of you a question. Will you share, really concisely, one thing you've got so far? One thing, whether it's just the connection or an idea you had from anything I shared so far. It just allows me, whilst I'm doing a lot of teaching today, to feel that there's a real connection between us. Okay, beautiful. Insights coming in thick and fast. Oh, hi, Aaron. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Parisa. Hey, Lisa. Oh, Mr. Morgan. I'm glad you're here, Richard. That's awesome. Christina, you're here. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. Love it, Mitch. I'm glad you're here. Okay. Let me, as you guys continue to share, oh, thanks, Evelyn. Evelyn is my voice coach. So to hear her telling me my voice is letting a sense of calm come across. That's great. I have to remind myself. Hi, Jim. Okay. So let me talk you through some of the ideas I wanted to share specifically. Oh my God, don't you guys catch yourself touching your face and realizing how often you do it? Hey, Robbie. The first, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to share something different. I was at a talk a week or so ago, and Katie Hendricks was teaching. Katie is Gay Hendricks' wife. Gay wrote The Big Leap, but Katie is an amazing teacher in her own right. And she was talking about, okay. I don't know who keeps doing this. You gotta, someone's sharing their screen right now. You're gonna have to stop your screen sharing. Thank you. This is an exercise for me in patience and being in the moment. So watch me. So Katie was talking to us about fear and what I'll call, she calls it the fear signature. I call it the 5 flavors of fear. There are 5 ways that fear show up. Oh, she talked about 4. I think there's a 5th. 2, you know immediately, fight or flight. Some of us, as Katie calls our fear signature, when something dangerous happens, we go into fight mode. My friend Eddie is here. Eddie's a world-class martial artist. There's instant reaction inside of him. He's ready if he needs to be in fight mode. And some of us default to that, fight. For some of us, it's flight. As soon as we hear something of danger, we want to run. We want to escape. They're both really valid reactions. Neither is better or worse than the other. It's fight or flight. The third one is freeze. Sometimes we freeze when there's dangerous situations. And throughout history, if an animal in the jungle needed to escape a prisoner, sometimes it was good to literally freeze and not move. Then it wouldn't be seen. It doesn't work if you're a deer or an antelope and a car is coming, because animals aren't yet adjusted to fast-moving vehicles. But it does work. It does work if you're a human, sometimes. Fight, flight, or freeze. And there's another fear strategy that some of us use, and it's fainting. We literally faint. We go cloudy. It's like a flavor of freezing. We go cloudy. We can't really think straight, and we're just not quite present. And there's a fifth. Fawning. F-A-W-N. Fawning. Taking care of others. I don't know about you guys, but that's my default strategy. When I get afraid, I go into taking care of others, and I can't see it, and it feels really logical. So me 2 weeks ago ordering extra food from Amazon to keep my family safe was because I was afraid and I couldn't see it. Fight, flight, freeze, fainting, and fawning. 5 flavors of fear. And here's how Katie told us to deal with these. And I'm going to stand up. I've got a standing desk. I'm actually going to stand for this moment. And I encourage you guys to move around as we're doing this as well. Move your bodies. We won't sit the whole time. And so what Katie said to us is, if fight is your default strategy that you want to go to, it's not always the best place. And the way to move your body, just to check in if you're in the right space, is what she called oozing. So you do this kind of movement like this treacly, oozy movement. Do it with me. It's going to seem silly for those of you, but especially if fighting is your default mode of going to. You ooze your body like this. And it just takes out the stress. You can wiggle as well, move it around, but that oozing. I know you're avoiding doing this, Eddie Limbaum. I see you, man. This is where you need to just get your body in a different space if fighting is the place you go to. And I'm okay if this seems silly to you. We'll get onto deeper strategies in a moment around how to move life and business. But sometimes we've got to work on it almost all the time. We've got to come from the inside out. If fleeing is your default strategy, like you just need to run whenever time something is scary. She called it the sumo move. It's hard for me to show this on camera, but you bang your feet down, make them wide, come down in this wide sumo stance, rock back a little bit on your heels, and feel really grounded. And let it feel like the energy sinking through your body. So if you're scared and you're feeling that, I want to escape, that fleeing, then get down into that sumo stance. It will get you grounded. You might still want or choose to escape. Sometimes that's valuable, but you do it from a grounded place. Fight or flight. Freeze. If freeze is your thing, then wiggling is your way out. You've got to just wiggle your body. It's going to seem really silly, but if you're freezing, then wiggling your body will just snap you out of it. And that moment of wiggling will bring you back into the present moment. If fainting is your thing, your mouth goes open, you go kind of stupid. It's almost like the closest thing to death. You just go away a little bit. Well, opening your eyes wide, smiling, imagining love coming back into your body. Again, it will seem silly, but it brings energy. Move your body like you're scooping love into your body. Will take you out of that moment of not being present. Fawning, that place of taking care of others, the default place that I go to. Well, what I realized is I'm trying to take care of others and it feels right and it feels good, but I'm missing something. It means I need to take care of me. So literally hugging myself. squeezing myself helps me feel like I'm taken care of for a moment. It doesn't mean I won't go out there and serve other people and be there for them. In fact, I probably still will. But it means I come from a conscious place. So if you're one of those people who goes out there to just help everybody else, just that moment of catching that and doing this, hugging and squeezing yourself, allows you to breathe and take it in. So thank you for the feedback. I can see some of it in the comments. If you're one of those people who likes to take notes, feel free. I've noticed for years that I take notes every time I go on some kind of seminar, and I never ever read the notes afterwards. Just helps me process. One or two of you have posted them in here. That's perfect. And then post an insight. What do you get from this? So I'd love to hear right now, what's one thing you've got from anything I've shared so far? Just one insight. And it's okay, there's nothing in this moment. There's all sorts of other stuff we're going to go on to today. So I'm moving my body. I'm glad I'm standing in this moment. Great. I'm a fauna. I love that. Yeah, move. Physiology adjusts state. You're right, Richard. Thank you. Thanks for articulating that well. Hello, Bob. Glad you're here. Oh, hi, Kelly Richards. Community does really matter. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you're right, Mitch. There are ways out in the moment, but we have to be present in the moment to see that there's even a place to have a way out from. I'm a freezer. Hi, Akisha. Great. Okay. Oh, wow, there's so many of you here. I can't read them all right now. That's beautiful. Okay, so it dawned on me that I wanted to do that piece around our bodies before I did any more teaching today, because it's fundamental, especially for those of you who are coaches, and most of my community are. And I know that people have reached out to friends and others, and all sorts of people are here today who are not coaches. Brittany, I don't know if you're here today. Brittany's a hairstylist. There's all sorts of other business owners who are coming on. And so I won't just speak to the audience of who are coaches. And because a lot of you are, and your job is making sure you take care of others first, make sure you're aware of what's going on in your body so you can be present to the moment. Okay, cool. All right, let's teach. There are 14 ideas that struck me, and I'll go through them, and then I'll take breaks and interact with you. But I do encourage you to move your body as we're talking. It's a long time to sit in front of a Zoom call. The first idea is what I call red flags. There's nothing wrong with checking social media and checking the news unless it's running you. And that's been the case for me for a while now, that I've been, what do they say in the world of addiction? My name is Rich and I'm addicted. And I'm addicted to the news right now. And it feels rational. It feels like I should be, right? Because I'm seeing what's coming and I'm going to be able to take care of myself and my family and my business. And the news for the last decade or more has been designed to pull you in. For 10 years, CNN has had the words breaking news on the bottom of every single item. So catch yourself. The red flags are where you're looking for, what are my warning signs? How often could I be checking social media or the news? Am I eating junk food? There's a reason we go to junk food at moments like this. It's very human. For most of human history, when life wasn't safe, you needed to eat all the carbohydrates you could to have enough energy to survive a week, a month, however long it would be before food would come again. But now it's cookies and cakes. And in this moment in time, there's nothing more important than your immune system. So you need some red flags, some little warning signs to say, okay, where am I going overboard right now? I saw someone that says they're eating tortilla chips in the background there. That's okay. There's no judgment here. We're human, right? It's being aware of your habits in the moment and catching them. Beyond the red flags, you need check engine lights. If I get in my car, there's a number of lights on the dashboard. There's a light that says your car needs a service, your car needs gas or petrol, Your tires need filling up. There are warning lights for me. And so I can feel safe when I'm in my car, but I don't have them for myself. You'll need to create them. What are the check engine lights for you? If I've checked the news every hour for the last 4 hours, maybe there should be a warning light going off. If I'm eating pizza, that's okay, but if I've eaten pizza 3 times a day, maybe there's a warning light that goes off. What are your warning lights for the most important things, the check engine lights? Now, here's the challenge that goes with that. We could sit and work them out. If I was coaching you individually right now, we could have a list of your 5 top check engine lights. And then you go off into the world, and the moment you feel stressed, your system is designed to focus like this. When we feel stress out in the wilderness, our system is designed to go like this. Our gaze is designed to narrow so we can focus on running away, fleeing from an enemy, fighting an enemy. Our gaze narrows. So whilst you can set up the check engine lights now, you need someone or something to support you in that. Whether it's a friend, a peer, a coach, a community. Who can you tell, hey, if you haven't heard from me in 2 days, that's a sign I'm probably stressed. Will you reach out to me? How about we get on a text thread and once or twice a day, we'll text each other to check in. And we'll be really honest and we'll just say how many times we read the papers or how many times we were checking social media. What check engine lights can you create with not accountability? I don't like that word accountability. I don't want someone then judging me, especially if I'm afraid, but some kind of team support, someone who's shoulder to shoulder with me, who's doing this the way that I am. So that's the first thought. This idea about set your red flags, what are the warning flags, and then bring in the check engine lights and have someone or a community who can support you with that. And if you lead a community, I highly recommend, and a community can be as small as 10 people. If you lead a community, I highly recommend sharing with them what you're up to. Don't think that they'll think less of you because you're sharing from this vulnerable space. At this moment in time, people will be really grateful. Hey, I'm leading this community of 10 people. You guys are in my community. I'm going to share some of my doubts and fears and the steps I'm taking. Who'd like to join me as we navigate the next few days and weeks ahead? Okay, you did, Crystal. Warning flags, red. So these are your red flags that give you the warnings and the check engine lights that you set so that you can see them. The phrases are almost interchangeable, but setting those check engine lights. Okay, let me have a handful of insights from you before I move on to the next one. Just what's one thought or word or idea that you got from that? Great, thanks, Mark Silverman. Love that. Yeah, Twitter can be addictive right now. It's designed to be. The best scientists on the planet have spent the last decade making Twitter addictive. So at this moment in time, it can be. Breaking news will break you. Self-reflection is key. Yeah, self-awareness. And it's really hard to have self-awareness when your energy goes low or you're feeling stressed. That's why you've got to bring community in somehow, others in somehow to support you with that. Yeah, beautiful. Enlist support. That's great. Yeah, slow down to speed up, Dan. Oh, hi, Louisa. Glad you're here. All right, let's go on to number 2. This is back to basics. It's the stuff that we all know, but if you did this in a normal moment of life, your life would just be better. And in this moment of life, these things have become essential. It's 4 things. So the idea is be your own best client. Be your own best client. If you had a client right now, the 4 things you'd recommend to them is water, food, movement, and sleep. Water, food, movement, and sleep. Make sure you're hydrated. As I say that, look at that, self-awareness. The moment I said that, I can realize, oh, my mouth's dry. teaching this stuff, and in a second it can be your awareness is not there. Water, food. What healthy food can you put into your body right now? What vitamins can you stock up on? What green powders can you put in your drinks? More than ever right now, it's going to be tempting to be drawn to unhealthy food because your body's designed for that. And you're going to have to push a little bit against your body's reaction that when it gets scared, it wants junk food. Just that awareness, no judgment here. Okay, water, food, movement. How can you move your body? Even I saw some of you earlier are quarantined right now. How can you move your body at home? What exercises can you do in the comfort of your own home? There are plenty of things you can do in your own home to move your body every day, even every hour. This is your chance. A push-up challenge. Now, how many push-ups can you do in one day? Well, how many could you do by the end of your quarantine? Really, you could just, I see quarantined in Barcelona. Yeah, and some of you love it. So you're putting in some ideas for how to move your body and even nutrition. I love that. Yoga, gardening. Yeah, that's great. High intensity training, kettlebells. That's great. Of course, Mitch, your training. So the basics: be your own best client. Water, food, movement, and sleep. Here's the third premise I want to talk about today. And let me just do a quick check-in. Are you guys doing okay? Let's everyone stand up for a moment. Just move your body, even if you're at home. Just move your body for a moment because it's a long time to sit down. Thanks for the thumbs up, Eddie. Anyone else, give me a thumbs up or something to just give me a sign that you're doing okay. Beautiful. Oh, hey, Alexis, like the movement. I'm literally scrolling through 20 screens right now to see you all, so that's great.
This to me is amazing.
Okay, beautiful. I can't even get to all 22 screens here. All right, thank you guys. And thanks for the feedback too. It really helps me to because there's so many of you, I can't be as interactive as I want to be, so it's a little bit more teaching than normal, but I want to interact like this, and the more that you can interact with me, the better it is, so it's great. Mark, there will be a recording. We'll get it out to you afterwards if anyone has to leave early. I love that someone's just, Melissa, you finish your Nike Club app training. That's great. Okay, so third principle, leverage helpers high. Leverage helpers high. Take care of yourself first. Make sure you're not going to that default that I do, which is to take care of everybody else before me. Take care of yourself first, but leverage helpers high. There's literally this premise that when you're there taking care of others, you get re-energized at the same time. You can't do it if your tank is empty. So just make sure your tank is filled, and then helpers high will actually increase your tank even more. So leverage helpers high. What can you do to help your people, to help your community? So here's an idea that I want to introduce to you. Go 2 layers deep in the people you can support and help. Who are your clients' clients? Who are your customers' customers? Go 2 levels deep. I don't know if Brittany's here today. There's 22 screens, Brittany, so if you're here, I can't see you if you're here live. Brittany's a hairstylist. And I was thinking about you this morning, Brittany, and I was thinking, well, how do you go 2 layers deep if you're a hairstylist? What do your clients need most right now? So 1 layer deep, I was thinking about my mother, because I was talking to her yesterday and I said, no, Mum, you ought to be prepared. They may at some point make it harder for you to go and have your, see a hairdresser. I hope she doesn't listen to this, but she goes every 2 weeks to have her hair colored. And I was thinking about, if you're a hairstylist right now, well, you could reach out literally to all of your customers. Send them a message, send them a text. By the way, picking up your phone and sending a tiny video text is the most intimate and personal way to do it right now. Our inboxes are full and they're stressful. Our text messages are full, but a little video text, you for 20 seconds. And so if you're a hairstylist, calling a client saying, hey, I'm thinking of you. I want to let you know that I can take care of you right now. Here's the precautions I'm taking. Here's what I'm doing to clean all of the stuff. When I style your hair, I'll be wearing a mask, I'll be wearing gloves, but I'll be here to take care of you even when you're ready. Now that's beautiful because that's the first order. Where can I help my clients? But what about your clients' clients? Well, what about if you're a hairstylist, thinking about, well, what about the children or the adult or even elderly parents of my clients? So if my hairstylist had reached out to me and said, hey, Rich, I don't know if your mother or father right now needs help having their hair styled, but here's what I'm doing to take precautions. If they'd like to come to my salon or I can come to their home, here's what I do. I change my clothes each time I enter somebody's home. I wear gloves. Think about your clients' clients. Go 2 layers deep. Think about your customers' customers. And now call all of your clients and say, hey, I was thinking of you, Fred, and I was wondering about your clients right now. What's the biggest fear or doubt or insecurity that your clients are facing in this moment? How would you like to brainstorm ways to help your clients? Going 2 layers deep is a great way to leverage that idea of help us high and has people really open. It can feel a little bit edgy in this moment. If you reach out to say somebody, like, are you trying to get business from me? When you're going 2 layers deep, it's, hey, I was thinking of you. And it dawned on me that maybe your customers are going through this right now. Would you like some support with that? Would you like some help with that? Okay, there's leveraging helpers high. And any questions on that? Put them into the question. And let me tell you about one of my friends and clients right now. He's on the call. His name's Chris Frolick. Chris was a world-renowned DJ. And when his DJ career ended, he did all sorts of other things. He's now a coach and a consultant. And Chris has this love for old-fashioned arcades. And he's built an arcade in his home with all sorts of old-style arcade games. And so he's in some forums for people who run and work with arcades. For most of us, we probably never knew those forums existed. But Chris does. And what Chris told me that he's doing is that he's reached out on these different forums to say, hey, would anybody like to brainstorm? Look, imagine if you run an arcade right now, no one's going to want to be there. So you have this moment in time where you could see your entire business going bust. And Chris is saying, hey, do you want some help? How'd you like to get on a call, to brainstorm, to play with ideas? I've got all sorts of ways that I could be able to support you. Who would be interested? Okay. Chris, that's a beautiful idea. I love that. Oh, so I'm just looking at your comments. Evelyn's got a beautiful comment. When I was stuck in hospital with my baby, I donated breast milk and made breastfeeding tea for other mothers in hospital. He helped me have a higher purpose once I didn't know what was going on happened to my own baby. Helping others in times you don't know is very useful. So it's a beautiful story, Evelyn, and I'm glad that Evelyn has shared that because I was just thinking of Evelyn. So Evelyn it used to be Europe's premier Madonna impersonator. As a coach, she's worked with executives at Channel 4, some of the top TV networks in the United Kingdom. She's got clients who are celebrity performers. And Evelyn and I were chatting the other day, and she has a gift in helping you speak powerfully, especially on camera. And I said, Evelyn, this is an amazing time right now because so many people can't connect in person. And she was worried, well, isn't this taking advantage of the situation? I said, no, this is about letting people know you have a gift. And if you want support to be powerful on camera, I can help you. Think of all the ways that you can support. And so then I reached out to Evelyn and said, oh, I've just realized that my community might need your gifts. Can we talk about how we can share your gifts with my community so they can be more impactful with their clients? I'm glad you're here, Evelyn. Okay. Oh, great. Hannah, that's great. Hannah's just said her restaurant legally has to close. Yeah, she's in California. So we're adapting to a delivery model. The client's idea is impactful. Yeah, you see, you can just be responsive, Hannah, how many people are showing up right now. Okay, just online, notify people, we now deliver. Or you could say, hey, we're thinking of you. Do you have elderly parents? Do you have adult children who you want to take care of but you can't get to? How can you take care of those people? How could you reach out to them? What kind of messages could you send to tap into what they're feeling right now, or what they don't even know that they might know? I'm glad you're here, Hannah. Okay, let's see where I am. I'm trying to check. I've got a message I pulled up on WhatsApp to share something I'm doing with one of my clients, but my WhatsApp is blowing up right now. Here we go. So one of my clients is a coach, and he had a potential client who was about to sign a contract, and they've gone quiet right now. Well, we don't know what that means. If these were ordinary times, I'd say, when you hear nothing from a client, it means nothing. We get so freaked out about, I haven't heard anything. If you hear nothing, it means nothing. But at this moment in time, it could mean a number of things. It could mean this particular client is really busy handling stuff. It could mean this client is afraid right now. It could mean this client has changed their mind. This is not the right time to sign a coaching agreement. And it could simply mean that they just haven't had a chance to sign the contract and they can't wait to get the support of a coach. But what I suggested to my client is an email like this. Hi, so-and-so. I was thinking of you. We live in interesting times, right? After I transitioned out of the world of high-level business, I became a coach to top performers, often from a similar background. Right now, I'm in the fortunate position of having the resources that I don't need a paying client at this time, so I'm trying to do my bit to support people. My gift is coaching high-level leaders, usually from the business world, so I want to let you know that I'm blocking out 10 a.m. on my calendar on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the next month. Let's take coaching off the table for now, the agreement we already had. And if you'd like a single coaching call to still your nerves, to brainstorm ideas, or to find ways to succeed even in challenging times, let me know. There's no charge for this, and if it's not for you, that's perfect too. How can you reach out to your people and let them know what you're doing to really be there for them? How can you support your people in ways that they're absolutely not expecting? I've just written to all of my one-on-one clients, to the members of 4PC, my high-level community, to tell them I'm going to put on a number of calls this week. Just 6 a.m., I will be in my office. I will be on Zoom on a number that I'll give them, and I'll just be here. And I'll be here working if they want to show up and ask a question, if they want to show up and just be in community, if they want to show up and just do a workout in the background, knowing that I'm here at 6 a.m., 2 days a week, I'll be there for them. I'm going to do the same thing for my wider community. These are people who've ever been to anything I've ever done before. Anyone who's ever been a client in any way, been into any intensive or event I've ever run, bought anything I've ever had. I'm going to do a call like that once a week where they can just show up and I will be there for them. And then I'm going to set up a pop-up Facebook group where I can invite everyone. And some of you have never been part of my world before, and I can do something on Facebook where I can share Facebook Lives. When you're back in purpose, back on purpose and serving and creating ways to help people, then it's the heart of the book that I wrote with my friend Steve. The Prosperous Coach approach is about two things. Number one, having a long-term view. You can't get great clients with a short-term mindset. And right now we all have to go to a long-term mindset. And number two, serving. Excuse my French, but serve your ass off. Right now, if you put your attention on serving other people, I can't promise you'll make money in the short term or even in the medium term. And it may happen. But what I can promise, if you're that person who is there for others, when energy goes out, it always comes back. You just can't tell which direction it comes from. So be in that place of serving. Okay. Leverage helpers high. let me ask you, let's do this. Let's share an insight or a thought that you've had right now. I'd love to see what's going on right now. Oh, Evelyn, great, you caught that. Someone asked how to contact Evelyn. Her email's in the chat box there. Graham, it's not about the money, it's about giving. The money will come. That's beautiful. Higher energy to others brings higher energy back to us. That's so right, Parisa. Serve your ass off, Jill. You're not alone, Jim. Yeah. Energy out, energy in. Oh, hi, Augusta. Oh, Augusta, I'm glad you got on the call. I saw it was your emergency message that had me text the team, and they handled things, so everyone's on the team. Everyone's on the call right now. Yeah, serve your ass off, Chris. Beautiful. Oh, hi, Bridget. Hi, Mario. Great. Oh, there's someone here called Rishi. That's Monique's nickname for me, Rishi. She calls me Rishi. All right. Let's do this again. Move your bodies, gang. It's a long time to sit down. This is going to be the key for whatever's happening in the next few weeks ahead for all of us, is that we are moving. It will be very easy and tempting to sit down, whether it's in front of Netflix or trying to get business, and that movement of your body will allow energy to flow. If energy is not flowing inside of you, then something really strange is going to happen, and you will really stagnate. So move as much as you need. Okay. Number 4, I call this one the power of love, and I was a bit nervous to say this. I don't usually use the L word when I'm working with entrepreneurs and business owners. It's an edgy word for some people. But what I mean by the power of love is build trust and show compassion. Build trust and show compassion. Be there for people. People are going there through all sorts of things right now. Whatever you do in the world, whether you're a coach or a consultant like most of my community, whether you're a business owner or even executives right now, how can you build trust? How can you be there for others? What trust can you show in them? It was 2 or 3 years ago with my business, I was burnt out, and I cut off 2 revenue streams that brought in most of the profit for my business. I just didn't have the bandwidth to do it any longer. And I let go of quite a number of my team. I just cut things down. And at the end of the year, I was doing a review with my team. And I said, I felt like I was being honest. And I said to the team, you know, I realized I was really afraid about money running out early in the year. I didn't want to show that to you. And everyone on the team went, yeah, we knew. We could see. It was like this, oh, of course you could. And I've realized that when I'm afraid, I don't have to hide that from my team. Now, that doesn't mean I go in to share all my doubts and insecurities, but what I can do, because what they literally said to me is, Rich, if you'd shared with us what was really going on, you could have said to us, hey, we need to make money now as a business. What ideas do you guys have? How can you help? How can we come together? We don't have to do this alone. And so this idea of the power of love is about building trust, showing compassion. Do it with your community, do it with your clients, your customers, and do it with your team too. Let me take a sip of water. Yeah, I love that idea, Ankit, of being a go-giver. Thank you, Bridget. Thanks for that message. I can't track everyone's messages. Every time I look away, it's just like 92 more messages. But as soon as I catch them, I'll acknowledge them. Thank you, gang. Number 5, set your compass. More than ever right now, you need a compass to navigate where you're going. The map has changed literally in this moment. We can't follow a map. The plan for your life and your business has changed. Hopefully, we'll shift back within days or weeks, even months. But right now, you can set a compass. A compass is about stability from the inside out. It's about leading from values. You know, Google did a study about the most important factor for team success, and it's psychological safety. When your team understand what your values are, when your clients and customers understand what your values are, even at home with your family, when you're really clear about what your values are, people can relax. You can model that you're leading from values. So make a list of the values that are important to your life and your leadership. And then here's the key. Come up with 3 to 5 values that are your most important ones right now. And give them a ranking. The order changes. It changes depending on time and circumstances. And people forget this. They think these are my values. They are, but they will shift. Before I had kids, there was nothing more important than a team call. A call with my clients, even a call with my team. And I never miss a client call. I couldn't think of any reason why I'd have to miss a call with a client. Once I had kids, there was a moment when one of my kids was sick, and I didn't hesitate. My value of my family, I realized in that moment, was higher than my value of business. And I had no hesitation in calling a client and saying, hey, I'm really sorry, got to reschedule. My son's sick, taking him to the doctors. Make a list of your top 3 to 5 values and then give them a number and put them in order. That order may change in the next few days and weeks. It's worth revisiting that list. But knowing that list of values, if you have a team talking it through, what are our values as a company right now? What are our top 3 values as a business right now? Hi, Sean. Nice to see you here. Hey. Number 6, leading by receiving. You know, energy only works if it's in flow. If you're only coming from this place of I'm here to give out energy and be there for you, if you cannot receive, there's a stagnation in energy. So find a way to receive more than you usually do. How many of you know that you're really good at giving and find it really hard to receive? Yeah, I imagine on a call like this, it'll be most of us. So look for ways to shift that. Look for ways to shift. How can I receive right now? How can I receive? And how could I collaborate with my team, for example? Be there to receive from them. I touched on this a moment ago. How can I be there to receive? So let me just come where I was. So we're on number 6, leading by receiving. But let me come back to service. I was talking to one of my favorite people in the world last night. He's a man named Steve Hardizan, who was one of my coaches. Steve charges about $200,000 a year to work with him. He's got a handful of clients who are lifetime clients who just signed a written agreement they'll be with him as his client until one of them kicks the bucket. And extraordinary man. But this is a man who is only about service. 2 days ago, him and his wife walked down his street, knocked on every single door to say, is there anything you need right now? How can we be of service for you? What do you need? That, by the way, is the reason he's one of the most highly paid coaches I've ever met, because he never stops being in service. So how can you be in service right now? I wanted to come back to that because that story just struck me. As much as we have to be willing to receive, that willingness to be in service too. Hi, Georgie. I see you. There's 22 pages of you guys on my screen right now, and I know why some of you just pop up on the first screen as you arrive on the call. So I love seeing your insights. Thank you for keep sharing them. It's great to see you guys sharing the insights. James asks, where's the best place to start my coaching career? You know, James, I started my coaching career in the midst of what people call the worst financial crisis in recent history. So I've been there. Go to my website, my friend. There's tons of resources you can get for free there. There's a podcast and so on. This isn't a place for me to talk about my coaching, but I saw your question, so just go to my website. Oh, Rosie, I love this. Rosie says she's doing a live Zoom call for all teachers and administrators, free every morning at a specific time. That's beautiful. Just looking for ways to be there for others. That's beautiful, Rosie. Okay. Oh, hi, Shaima, calling from Saudi Arabia. I love that. Okay, Nomi's thought about what our top 3 values are: connection, growth, and compassion. Oh, hey, Sylvia, glad you're here. Love, contribution, creativity, learning, and spiritual connection. Beautiful. Hi from Italy, Julia. Oh, that's an interesting question. Fabio asks, let me catch this. Is it possible to share support and help without having social media? Yeah, one person at a time. Really, more than ever before, one person at a time is the secret to doing this. Because right now, all people are going to be sharing on social media is the latest piece of news, the latest piece of information, how to keep healthy. It'll be blowing up with, you'll disappear into the thread, into the ether, if you're posting on social media right now. It's reaching out to people. Hey, Fred, haven't spoken for a while. You know what? And this is Rosie. Rosie would say, hey, wonder if you know anyone like this. I'm helping teachers and administrators right now with a call I'm doing once a week just to gift to them, to be of service. Do you know anyone like that? It's literally one call at a time, one relationship at a time. Okay. Give me a wave if you're doing okay on this one so far. Okay, good. Good stuff. Okay, we're almost an hour in, so just make sure you're moving your body, please. It really is. It's that movement of your body that's going to allow you to stay present here. And it's a metaphor for everything that happens after the call. So it will be easy after the call to go back to the overwhelm or the fear or the doubt when there's no one else around you. And it's when you move, when you're in action, things shift. Okay. All right, so here we are now. Number 7, the importance of ritual. Create some rituals for yourself right now. Really simple ones. At the start of this call, I said, if you did nothing else, but at the start of the day, before you turned on any social media, picked up your phone, you took 5 deep breaths. That's a really powerful, simple ritual. Journaling would be a great ritual right now, any time of the day. Getting out all your thoughts out of your head. One of the biggest causes of stress is our thinking that's up here that we can't, the moment you get it out of you, things change. Even if you journal and tear up those pages after they're done. So actually a beautiful exercise to do. So you're not holding on to them. They're not notes for a business plan or a to-do list. This is just my thinking will be out of my head and then it's gone. And then you're free to write anything you want to do, what you're angry about, what you're afraid of, what you're frustrated with, what you're joyous about, what you're grateful for. Create some simple rituals. We have one with our kids. Right now, well, we've done this for years with our kids. Every night at dinner, we sit down and we say, what was the best bit of your day? What was the most challenging bit of your day? What are you grateful for? We've added in an idea from a client of mine, an amazing woman called Olivia, who's got this principle she teaches called tiny acts of courage. And we've asked our boys every night, what was one tiny act of courage that you took today? It was beautiful. A 6-year-old and an 8-year-old got it immediately. They didn't even need an explanation. What was one tiny act of courage that you took today? There's a ritual, especially if you have kids. Rituals are powerful. Oh, hi, Christian, calling from Nigeria. I love this. Sam says, I've only got face-to-face clients right now. Well, that's what these tools are for right now, Sam. So Sam, reach out to Evelyn on the chat. She will help you to understand how to be on Zoom calls like this. This is what she does. Evelyn, maybe post your details again. That'll be helpful to Sam. All right, after ritual, let's have a look. Okay. I called this PTP when I wrote the notes, so I'm not sure that's the right word, but sometimes it takes a while for me to get the right word. But let me backtrack. You know what? Let me just give you the background first. We're most of us aware of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Anytime people have been in a stressful situation, it can have an impact on their entire nervous system and for a long time after, even on their thinking. We're aware of PTSD. It happens on the battlefield. It happens after a car accident. And it's happening for many of us right now because it's a stressful situation, post-traumatic stress disorder. But there's also a concept called post-traumatic growth. Post-traumatic growth. The research by scientists actually shows that most people who come through very stressful situations grow and learn from it and through it, and on the other side, often are grateful for it. They wouldn't wish it on anybody, but often are grateful for it. So I was playing with this idea of what if there was something, this concept of pre-traumatic possibility. Pre-traumatic possibility. The name's got to be better than that because I don't like the word traumatic in there. But the premise that I'm thinking of is much of the world right now is on the precipice of getting very nervous or afraid. Well, if we know that growth comes after challenge, and we're just on the curve ahead for most of us, ahead of the curve on that challenge, well, we can sit here and go, okay, I know I will grow because of this. What are the learnings I want to have? What are the takeaways I want to have? How do I want to grow before the challenges have arisen? If you took some time to be conscious about that and to decide on that, then you will create the possibilities no matter what happens in the coming weeks and months. My intention is that my relationship with my wife will be deeper and more connected and more passionate as a result of whatever we go through than before we began. My intention is that I will serve people so powerfully that the gift and all the energy I've put out in the world will come back to me in enormous ways once we're through this situation right now. I made those up in the moment. They're all very real for me, but I made those up in the moment. Again, it's not quite the right wording, so forgive me, but you're catching me in real time here, right? This idea of pre-traumatic possibility, pre-stress, pre-challenge, let's call it PCP, pre-challenge possibility. How can you create the possibilities before the challenge has even happened? There you go. I like that now. Okay. Again, please do share your insights. I'm scanning what you guys are writing as you're sharing. Oh, Taz, legs day at the gym. Great. Oh, I love it. Thanks, Rosie Bernardo. And I love that Richard is your coach. He's an awesome man. Okay. Some of you got to leave right now. That's great. Thanks for the feedback. We've still got 25 minutes, so keep moving your body, you guys. Okay. All right. Number 9, WWRD. If you're one of my clients or you've been to one of my recent events, you'll know that acronym, WWRD. What would Rich do? When I have clients, and they come to me with a question like, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I handle this? I just text them back, WWRD. What would Rich do? And then they come back to me and they say, oh, well, you do this and this and this. And then I say, go do that then. Half the time the ideas they have, I'd never actually have had. It's not that I would really have had those ideas. It's just we need to get out of our own way sometimes. And how I would think like this is fixed like this, but WWRD, what would he do? Oh, well, he would, and they make all this stuff about me. You know, your clients will sometimes think you're a superhero. You're actually very human. WWRD, change the R. Think of 3 people you love and admire the most. They can be alive, they can be dead. What would Martin Luther King do? What would Nelson Mandela do? It doesn't matter who it is. It can be your sister-in-law who you admire. What would so-and-so do? And then write down what she would do. And then go do that. You don't even need to check in with them whether it's true or not. It just gets you out of your thinking. WWRD. Number 10. I call this, you've been there before, or you've been here before. How many of you watching right now have had to watch a loved one going through some kind of crisis whether it was a health issue, financial issue, an addiction issue. How many of you had to watch a loved one going through some kind of crisis? How many of you have had to go through some kind of crisis like that yourself? A financial issue, emotional issue, losing a relationship, going through a divorce, anyone gone bankrupt? We've been through so much of this stuff before, and we forget. And each time something new comes, we get afraid. But just like I just shared earlier with PCP, this idea of I forgot what I call it now, pre-challenge possibility. Whatever's coming next, you've been here before. You've been here before. Remind yourself of that. Think back over your life after the call's over, or even right now, some ideas might pop, and recall the experiences that you went through that involved the greatest pressure or stress or adversity. How did you handle them? What were the top 3 ways that helped you navigate your biggest 3 challenges? What did you do? I know that when I was fired from my job as a teacher in 2005, I was doing a lot of yoga and meditation at the time. And that's what saved me. I already had those practices. What helped you navigate adversity and challenge and pressure in the past? Make a list of those 3 things right now. And then start doing them right now. Don't wait. Start doing them right now. You've been here before. Again, I'm going to scan down your messages. That's beautiful. Ed just did 20 push-ups. Love it. Yeah, anything to get into your body, Ed. Okay. Thanks for all the private messages too, gang. Okay. Oh, there's so many messages. I just saw one that was interesting. Let's skip past. Rosie says, can we make a Facebook group for everyone? Yeah, we're going to create a pop-up Facebook group. Follow me on Facebook, and I'm going to create a pop-up Facebook group. You may not be able to get me as a friend right now. I haven't got time to go through and accept every friend request, but you can follow me, and then you'll get my stuff, or check in the next couple of days. And my team will get that set up for us. All right. Let's come back to this. Number 11, a power greater than yourself. I don't often talk publicly about the spiritual side of things, but I do remember that, oh, thanks, Sarah. Sarah on my team just sent everyone a message there. I do remember when I had Kaleo, my first son, and it was literally the day earlier, I'd had a baby boy. I arrived on this planet, and I was walking down the streets. I had to go and buy some stuff for Monique, and I'm walking down the streets, and every adult I passed by, I remember looking at and thinking, oh my God, you were once a baby. Oh my God, you were once a baby. Anyone who's a parent may relate to this, or maybe it's just me. But I was blown away by the immensity of human existence. Whatever you think, whatever it means to you, the universe, God, whatever it is, a power greater than yourself, there is something bigger than us. I'm a scientist by background. I've got a degree in biology. But when I think about the creation of this planet, even though I understand the scientific nature of the creation of the universe and the Big Bang, my mind can't comprehend, well, what happened before the Big Bang? There is something grander than us. And remembering that is important at a moment like this. Number 12, build your support team. Really, right now, family, friends, mentors, coaches, build a personal support group, build a professional support group, build a personal board of directors, whatever it is right now. Gather together a handful of friends and say, let's be there for one another. There are all sorts of ways you could do this. If someone was asking me about their client, I've got someone who's thinking about becoming my client, and they're wondering at this time, should I have a coach right now? I'd say, well, it's a very personal decision. And in my experience, that it's those moments when I'm most afraid or most in doubt or most concerned that I'm most grateful to have support. And it's also the most tempting moment to run away from support. I don't need it right now. One of the things I do, if someone comes to me and says, hey, my business is struggling, I'm running out of money, what do? I say, take a vacation. And they get mad. Well, no, Rich, you don't understand. I said, my business is struggling. I'm afraid right now. The money might all run out. What do? Yeah, take a vacation. And they get really frustrated with me. But we know, research literally shows us that taking time to be on the beach or being in nature or just being in the shower is when everything shifts. So you can take a vacation right now, even if you're quarantined. How can I switch off? How can I take a break? How can I be there for me? How can I have a laugh? You may have seen, because I put it on the email I sent to my community, or it was on the Facebook post, but I lived in Africa during the height of the AIDS crisis. I was teaching in a little rural village school in northern Botswana, and every week members of the society were dying from AIDS. And one of my friends, a local teacher, was about to go to a funeral, and she just started laughing. And I said, Brenda, what are you laughing about? And she said, Rich, if we didn't laugh, we'd cry. We have to laugh. And so bring a sense of humor and fun into whatever's going on right now. There was a beautiful video the other day of Italians on their balconies singing to one another to entertain each other. What can you do to have some fun right now? Oh, that's great. Beata, thank you so much for sharing that. You had to have 100 days isolation after stem cell transplant. Wow. So many of us have either been through enormous challenges, or we have friends who've been through enormous challenges. That's great. Number 13, it goes back to where I began. Number 13 is the power of long-term thinking. It's the heart of a book that I wrote called The Prosperous Coach. It's the way to build a business in the best of times, and it becomes an even more important way to build a business in challenging times. Think long-term, be out there to serve people. Your job is to be there for people. And that relates to number 14. Focus on your clients. How can I be there for my clients? I've made sure that every single one of my one-on-one clients, members of 4PC, has my personal cell phone number. I've told them they can message me at any time. I won't respond. I'm not promising to respond immediately, but within 24 hours, and probably be sooner. I've got a group coaching program right now called Project Kairos, and we have a Slack channel where we can chat with one another. And I've told them I've turned on notifications on my phone for our Slack channel. So it's like their personal hotline to me. Again, I won't respond immediately. I can't promise that, but I will see it immediately and I'll respond as soon as I can. How can I go the extra mile for all of my people? And then with a call like this, how can I be there for people who don't even know me? Some of you might be here once and we never see each other again. How can you be like that for your people, for your community, for the wider community? How can you find a way to think about who can you serve right now? Okay, let me pause there. I'm gonna have a quick look at everything you guys are sharing. I can share a couple more ideas before we finish. And thanks for sharing the insights. That's great. Richard, I'm glad you're here. Oh, Andrew, that's really nice. Your clients are checking in on you. That's really sweet. Yeah. Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks for that feedback. Yeah, thank you, gang. I'm going to share a few ideas before we finish that I've learned from some other people in the last few days. So here's the, hey, thank you for those of you who are sending me love, even the private messages. I really appreciate that. So one thing I might do right now in business is really think about cash. Cash is key at the best of times, but right now, really think about where can you cut costs, and be careful about this. Long-term thinking has to play out. It's tempting to cut costs left, right, and center, but put your attention on where could I actually increase my spending? What could I spend money on right now that would serve people in just such amazing ways? So have a think about where you're spending money and you could cut costs, and where could you actually increase your spending. If everybody is cutting their prices right now, where could you increase your prices? It's an interesting thought, but I like the counterintuitive thinking any moment. One of my coaches right now, a man named Dan Sullivan, teaches entrepreneurs around business, said that during the last financial crisis, his clients were afraid. And they asked, what should we do? And he said, increase your prices. And they said, well, you don't understand. We're afraid. Everyone else is cutting their prices. What do we do? Increase your prices. And he said, he was honest. He said, I didn't really totally believe the truth of that. But what I noticed when my prices increased, some new people signed up. And I went to them genuinely and I said, why'd you sign up now? The prices have just gone up. And they said, because we knew who would not be in the room. We knew who would not be in the room. So have a think about the counterintuitive place. There are some people right now who have the resources for support and need it more than ever. And it may not be that cutting prices is the right thing to do in this moment. Play with counterintuitive thinking. Make a personal plan for what you'll do if things get challenging. What will you do if you get sick? What will you do if your partner gets sick or an elderly family member gets sick? Make a personal plan now. Don't wait till it happens. Start to think about it in advance. Then you'll be ready. And how many of you ever read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, or maybe saw the movie? It was one of my favorite books when I was a kid. Yeah, it's a great little book. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a science fiction novel set in the future, and it's based on this intergalactic travel guide that when you travel around the universe, you'd buy this book and it'd help you to travel. And inside the front cover, it was supposed to be the best-selling book in the universe. That was the principle behind it. And inside the front cover, in friendly letters, as the book says, were printed two words. Robbie, I know you know what those two words were. It said, don't panic. So the problem, for any of you who know about thinking, is if you tell somebody don't panic, our minds can't handle a negative. We think of panic first. We can't tell people don't panic because it gets us into that panic thinking. What you can do is plan. You can plan. All we've been talking about today is plan. Taking away the energy. What are my values I'm going to come from? What plan am I going to have to serve other people? What plan would I have if I got sick or someone else got sick? Plan. And right now, overreaction is not a bad thing. That's not the same as panic buying, but overreaction, let me get a little bit more food in store than I would normally have. Let me make sure I'm seeing less people than I would normally see. I'm keeping a distance that might seem a bit strange or might upset. I felt really guilty. A friend of mine wanted to meet today for coffee. And I said, you know what? I'm practicing social distancing right now. And he was really sweet. He said, no, I just thought we could walk together on the beach, have a coffee. We could bring our own cups. And I'd say, you know what? I'm going to practice social distancing and not be around anybody. And I felt really guilty. It's the first time I've said that. But I'm planning. I'm thinking ahead about things. And if that's an overreaction, the worst that happens, it might have upset somebody for 5 minutes. Think with your money. Where can you save money right now? Where can you cut expenses right now? How can you make the toothpaste last a little longer? Really, at every level. I'm just consciously thinking right now about how do I do my spending right now in a way I haven't done for a long time. I've asked my cleaner not to come into the house because the more people who come into my house, the more exposed we get right now. And so I'm doing some things I haven't done for a while, but how can it be fun? How can I involve my kids with it? And how can it actually make me a little bit more conscious of the luxuries I've had in life that I could afford a cleaner? Wow, I'm going to just take care of the house right now. Okay, let's see what else we got. I think I'm going to come back to, I think it was the second point I said earlier around just taking care of you. Eat healthily. Cut the junk food. Cut the junk news and social media. Stay hydrated and get a lot of sleep. If you live anywhere where there's some sunshine, get out at least and get a little bit of sunshine, some fresh air, and get and create some love and connection. It might be on a video call right now, but you really can create love and connection on a video call, and people will feel it. We did a little family FaceTime yesterday. We had the whole family on FaceTime on our phones, and it was really fun in a way that brought us together we don't normally do. Oh, Chris, I'm doing the same. I'm paying my cleaner not to come. Yeah, I want to make sure she's taken care of too. Angela, yes, playing with counterintuitive actions. I love that. Richard, I'm asking my housekeeper to give me homework. Hey, what do I have to do? Where should I clean? What bits do I not? Where are the cleaning supplies? So have fun with this. Have fun with this. Tell me, what else have you got? What are the insights? We're about to wrap. And then what I'll do, I'll create this Facebook with my team, my amazing team are creating this Facebook group. We'll let you know about, I won't promise when, because then they'll be upset with me, but at some point this week, hoping the next day or so, they'll let us know, and we'll have a group we can be there for one another. What was that? Creative ideas on how to serve people powerfully from home with toddlers. Well, I tell you what, Shane, we have little kids right now, and if you had a video chat where once a day you were going to teach kids about dinosaurs, or you were going to watch their favorite Netflix show and make up stories about it, really have a think about what do people need, and what do the kids need right now, and what would the parents be grateful for? So beautiful. Thanks for the insights, you guys. Rishi says, how can I go the extra mile for my people? Yeah, I love it. Evelyn, create love and connection over video. Absolutely. Lynn says, host a virtual dinner party on Zoom and bring your own booze. I love it. There's someone's created an app. I think it's called netflixparty.com. It's a Chrome add-in, whatever you call it. So you can actually host a Netflix party, and all your family, all your buddies can watch the same movie at the same time, which is kind of cool. People are thinking right now, what do people need? If you come from that place of what do people need and how can I serve, you'll find a way that people will be ever so grateful to you. Okay, that's great. Well, thank you, gang. Thanks for sharing. I think Kermit just shared a resource actually for kids there. That's great. And parents. I'd love to hear, what's your biggest takeaway right now? Just the one thing that's the biggest takeaway before we leave. And then I'll just say a couple of words to get us together before we leave. So a couple more minutes. Thank you. I appreciate all the messages, especially the private ones. I'm going to hit there's a button here somewhere to download all your comments before we go. So I will read them later. Carly, I don't know what that means. Thank your brother for this webinar. I'm curious what that means. That's great. Oh, Gemini, hi, that's great. I'm glad you're here. Thanks, James. Thanks for your message about joining me for the first time. Irina's doing an online dance. That's great. Okay. Thank you, gang. This is beautiful. Okay, too many messages. I'm trying to read them. I don't want to have you on the line where I'm reading your messages. Let me come back to where I began. If I could capture everything I said in 3 words, it would be serve, serve, serve. But remember, serve yourself first, serve others next, go the extra mile, and then look for ways to serve your clients' clients, your customers' customers. Go 2 levels deep. Serve, serve, serve. For most of human history, it wasn't called coaching, it was called leadership. And it's what I love to do, to coach people, to lead people, and to mess with people's thinking. If you'd like more of this, or if you'd like to learn more about our community of extraordinary top performers, go to richlitvin.com/oneinsight.